Hey everybody, so this is Pink Rhino. It's where you see how your brand actually shows up in an AI search. What we have here is an example of Notion.so. Notion is located in San Francisco, and if we check their profile, basically after entering their information simply by a website and a few keywords, target competitors, and so on, what pinkrhino.io does is builds a profile to identify how well Notion.so is showing on AI prompts and building the digital presence. You can see we assign a confidence, we allow it to be editable. So if you're a marketing agency, you can come in and update it by entity. Then what it also does after you've added your organization, it creates prompts. And what it uses is something similar to Answer the Public, where we're identifying the top keywords and how people are using the Internet of Things to search for that keyword. Remember, we're trying to be unbiased here, so we're looking to integrate and implement a strategy that's in a non-biased way approaching ChatGPT and eliciting it to talk about your business. It's about how you're structuring your organization, your website, and the information on your website to be read by LLMs. So here, after you double check and confirm that your entity profile is created and things are right, you then come into the prompts and you can edit the prompts or you can use the prompts that we've created for you using the Answer the Public proprietary information that we have in the background. Here, what we're doing, you can also get suggestions if you go into edit prompts. Once you get the edit prompt suggestions, essentially you can add them by simply pushing the plus button, or you can change the prompts within here by simply copying and pasting or updating them effectively right in there. In this case, we're not going to add any prompts. What we're going to do is simply run a scan. And while we're running the scan, I'll show you what goes on in the overview section. So in the overview section, you can see that we have several previous scans that have been ran. I have this going for Notion.so because it's a trial. I have it running once a week, but this morning I was having some fun playing around with some new things we've added onto here. And what you can see here is once you're clicked on a previous scan or a scan, you're seeing the results of that scan. And here, this is actually really good. What we're seeing is that Notion's visibility is 80%, and that's just the percent of times in these unbiased questions and prompts that Notion is appearing and Notion is being suggested by AI. In similar regards, placement here, 63%, also phenomenal. Basically, you're being mentioned and being mentioned first, just signaling stronger digital authority. Then is sentiment. How well and how positive does the artificial intelligence, in this case ChatGPT, discuss your brand? And then authority. It's how well are they talking about what your business is doing and what Notion is doing that makes Notion a top selection for that particular industry. And then share of recognition. How often is Notion showing up versus competitors? And what it does is it shows you this on a scan by scan basis so that you can edit your prompts and maintain the individuality of the metrics. If you'd like to compare to previously, the previous metrics are here. And we have an interesting export button where you can literally export the CSV of all the prompts and the responses. The detail is below. So what SaaS solutions? This is one of the prompts that we've suggested that is for pinkrhino.ai to you.io to you. Sorry, this is one of the prompts that we've suggested for pinkrhino.io. And essentially what this prompt is telling us is that nowhere in here is Notion showing up. So we can continue to watch that prompt, or we can go in and update it as I showed you previously in the in the prompts tab. Now we have the recommendations. Recommendations is super cool. So you can conduct at any point in time a website scan. This is going to give you essentially a checklist of what Pink Rhino believes needs to happen for your technical search engine optimization capability to be prime, and in particular for the AI responses. Now you'll see here that Notion.so has, again, a great score of 9 out of 13, but we've started, if Notion were to start doing and implementing every one of these recommendations, then of course the score is going to be showing as completed. But one of the interesting things I want to talk about here is what we provide you right off the bat, and that's an LLMs.txt file, and that is essentially a file designed to be embedded on your website such that you can enable the GPT scraping activity to read your website that much better. So, and it's just simply downloadable by here. And as you update your prompts, this can be updated and you can simply copy and paste it onto your website. And then finally, a really cool thing we do here, pretty simple but very cool, is allow you to schedule. So you can run this daily, you can run it monthly, you can run it weekly, and essentially you don't have to come in here and push scan now, run scan, and so on, or wait for the prompts to process through the typical process. Thanks for giving me a chance to give you an overview, and I hope you give Pink Rhino a try, and I hope you really enjoy it. Thank you very much. Check it out, pinkrhino.io.